Hello, Helen. How are you?
I'm good. How are you going, and how's everything going on the conscience?
Well, here on the conscience, we're still far from potential interception or arriving in Gaza. So we're just south of Crete, and things are quite peaceful. It's quite rolly on the ship, and we have 92 people. So there are a lot of seasick people, but the resolve is strong.
That's good. And what sort of background is your crew? Or your passengers, anyway?
We call them participants. So the participants, it's really focusing on media and medics, because those are the two groups of people who've been specifically targeted in the genocide. And so we're sailing with a message of support for medics and journalists, and demanding that there's freedom of international press in Gaza so that the truth can be told.
And how long before you get into, or that you would arrive in Gaza or in that zone?
We're still strategizing, because there are several initiatives in the Mediterranean at the moment. There's the 1,000 Madeleines. There's a couple of boats that have left from Italy, and trying to work out as a fleet the best strategy for arrival. I mean, obviously, the Israeli occupational forces were completely overwhelmed by the number of boats that came with the global Samud flotilla, and one of them actually managed to, apparently, from what I'm hearing, to breach the blockade and arrive within Palestinian territorial waters, which is quite amazing. So, there's certain power in numbers, but there's also certain logic in just keeping a steady stream of vessels, insisting that there be a corridor for Palestinian people and break the siege.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you're doing such a brave thing, but a very important thing. So many Tasmanians have been following the flotilla, but also the horrendous genocide, the deaths, the destruction of Gaza, and shining this spotlight onto it is so important that the world is aware. What do you feel that Tasmanians are best placed to do, Madeleine?
I think we need to lobby the Australian government, because I find it quite absurd and offensive that Palestine needs to be recognised. I mean, Palestine exists, and the fact that governments ummed and ahed for so long to actually recognise Palestine is already absurd. So it's not just enough to say, okay, we're taking this bold step, we're going to recognise Palestine. We need to have sanctions against Israel. Israel needs to be punished for its actions. We can't have a government that is supported by global governments to commit a genocide that's being live streamed. Honestly, the people need to acknowledge we all have the power to do something. So not everybody needs to join a flotilla, but we can all write to a local politician, call a local politician, join a rally on the streets. Everybody has that power within them. And I think it's important to keep our eyes on Gaza and to keep our attention on the issue, but also not to feel overwhelmed, and to know that everybody has their own individual power that they can exercise, and that we shouldn't feel just like rabbits in headlights because it seems so overwhelming. And honestly, the step between thought and action, between thinking about it and actually doing something, painting a banner or whatever it is that you do, that's the really important step to take, because it is an empowering thing to stand up for the things that you believe in.
Absolutely. And, the rally here, the March for Palestine, was massive. It was so, as you say, empowering to be involved. Both Rosalie and I have done speeches in Parliament recognising the genocide as well, and we will do what we can and try and get the message out as much as possible to Tasmanians here.
And as always, the Greens are the ones who stand up for what is right and just, and we just need to get the major parties to acknowledge that and to make a much stronger stance.